Good morning, happy morning, y'all. So we're going to talk about the differences in lesson templates. So the one that we have shared is actually more informing. Like the one thing I love how it has the breakdown of teachers, students, materials, strategies, technologies. That's great to have. The main thing that I love about this is about the differentiation of work, where if you have like English learners, um, higher your higher students, your at-risk students, and then students with disability. That's actually a great thing to have. Love that. That's very nice. I have two lesson templates that I want to show you guys so you guys can see the difference. So I have one where the lesson is a fourth grade level one, and it has the objectives. Of course, most lesson templates have that. The objective, your strategy, where you're gonna use. The one thing I love about this template is the technical one. Technical is the one is that I use for how can I say it? I use it for like hands-on activities. So what hands-on activity you're gonna do and what you're gonna do about that. And then I have like the key vocab, the materials, online resource, and then your introduction. One thing I noticed about the introduction for this one is it's my first 5 minutes, where right here you have the opening. The opening is kind of like, like how you're going to introduce the new material, comment. It's kind of like a do now. Let's say you warm up for your opening for your 10 minutes. And then you have the introduction to new material, where this one just have the introduction the first five. Like your first five has to be like, it has to be, you know, your warm up. And then the other one template that I had has similar things, but the one thing I love about this one is that you have the modeling, which is I do, guided practice, we do, and then you do kind of modeling. And then you have the exit taken. And then it asks for three things that might be difficult for me. I'm gonna say the one that is most difficult for me would be the opening and the introduction, because sometimes I love having the do now to be like more hook to the introduction of new materials. So usually I do a write up, like two questions, write up 3 minutes, 3 to 5. And for them to put 10 minutes, it's actually a great suggestion to have a class discussion about it. So that way you can know like who knows this new material. Like how can you classify a right triangle? So if you're classifying a right triangle, you need to think of like how you would do it and how your introduction. So like for one question would be how will you define this being the right triangle and how do you know? So that way you could see if students have their prior knowledge of this. And it's a great way to see. So sometimes I'll find that difficult because I have to think of like a do now that actually correlates to the introduction. That's the way I see it. Another difficulty being the classroom management. Of course, when you're in the high school or middle school level, you have to think of like what periods or what classes do I know I have to be more ready and more prepared? I love how it says how you create a healthy learning environment. Usually for that, what it's usually about your expectations for students to know that you have expectation and you're setting them up for, higher ups. And then you have how to create a maintain supported safe learning. It's just to make sure that you have everything prepared for them to learn and how to establish a climate of learning. That's usually a difficult one. But one thing I usually do is think about first, second, third, fourth. Okay, which periods do I need the most help where I can think of a way to handle this and manage that? And usually you think of, okay, which of my classes allow this, which of my class I feel like needs the most, it's the most like disrespectful, but in a way that you want to help them to be respectful at the same time. So yeah, I like that this lesson plan goes more in depth. Another one, just one more that I think would be like a difficult one for me would be the homework. I love doing projects for homework. So making sure that project actually correlates with the standard. And I love doing quizzes. Quizzes helps me a lot to make sure that they understand the lesson. So yeah, there's a lot of things that can help us out. The three difficult ones I say is classroom management, the opening to the introduction, and then also homework. That's the three that I find difficult, but I think I can do it because I can come up with something that can help me with it.